Alright, so I wanted to try out the new testing in combat, out of combat, exaltation stuff, because it's really controversial and I have strong opinions on it already, but I haven't really played it, at least since the previous testing session of this last year. Now, it doesn't seem to be that changed, but it's still something I need to get some time on. I'm going to play Sork, I guess, just because it's like a strong class with the new buffs, with the buffs to damage on wands, the high vitality innately. So I guess I don't have a pet right now, but whatever. It's a treasure cave. Why are damage numbers not coming up above my head? I'm taking damage. It's triggering the in combat here, but it's not showing the numbers. That's bad news. Alright, so I saw, yeah, some of these are triggering damage. I'm taking damage deliberately. I might die. Alright, I'm gonna fuck with the settings a bit, because that's not really a great situation. I wonder if just doing that will fix it. So in terms of first impressions, that's probably about as bad as you can get. Where just such a fundamental part of the game is just broken. I'm gonna grab a divine pet to rock with. What just happened? Oh, someone used the scholar seal. God, the MP and wisdom above my head look like crap. Oh, alright, well, it looks a bit different now. So it looks like crap compared to the guy next to me for a second there. Alright, is there anyone in this sanctuary? Should I wait for the next one? There's 10 people. Again, probably not going to be a thrilling performance here. Especially given I never completed this dungeon on prod before. Ooh. I'm used to everything being decoyed in this dungeon, so... so in terms of the meat of the vital combat, is I think what they're calling it, system, and the priest nerfs, I've been long in support of these things. So I think I have a different perspective to a lot of people. You know, as a Reddit mod, I've seen a ton of the general community reception to this update, and yeah, most people hate it. So I think on some level a defense of why I like it is in order. So I'll just try talking over the gameplay here until I die. So first and foremost, obviously, pets are too strong. I don't think anyone would really dispute that. People are mad that it's being taken away from them after having it because they paid for having what they thought they would have, which is understandable on some level. But from a game design perspective, obviously, it's not okay because you can just face tank anything. So I'm good with pets being nerfed, even as someone with a divine on prod that I paid for. I would rather have the game be good than have return on investment on that. And besides, I've had it for years, so I've kind of already got my return on investment. So I can see how people might feel cheated by this, but for me, it's the best thing for it, and I'm not upset about it. I'm thrilled to see the pet nerfs. In terms of how it's implemented, during the last playable testing of the in combat, out of combat, I was annoyed as a divine pet user because I was like, divines are getting hit proportionally harder, which felt a little unfair, but I've come around on that. I think it's actually a good thing. I'm okay with it because, you know, I don't think that rare pets are obviously broken, you know, compared to petless, or compared to old petless, compared to out of combat petless, it's kind of semi-reasonable. But rare pets are still broken, but rare pets are fine. I don't think rare pets are unhealthy for the game. Whoa. Okay, I wonder if that guy was moving the whole time. I'm a sorcerer. I'm gonna swap to full me, because I know he has a whole lot of minions. I've never done this fight properly, just in a huge raid. Actually, these guys probably can't be slowed. I'm just gonna swap to T6. So what we're what we're working with is divine pets are broken, but rare pets don't need to be nerfed as much. So the proportional, it being worse for the divine pets than for the rare, that's completely fine by me. It wasn't initially, but having had time to reflect on it, I'm good with it. Other stuff. The tome nerf is hugely controversial. Did they go overboard? Yes. They should have not put a cooldown on the tomes. And I think the heal decay is all that really was needed, aside from Fury being removed from group effect, which I am shocked they went through with. Because Fury is the most unhealthy thing in the game, because it basically means bosses can't inflict status effects, or if they do, they have to spam them and also spam silence, which was just so terrible for game design because bosses can't be threatening through status effects, so what's the point of the status effects being in the game? So it's great news, I think, that Fury is done. People have this expectation that Fury is going to be in the game, but it was so much hampering boss design in the game that I'm so happy to see it go. And heals in general were too strong. It's not just pets. Priests also, even without pets, have insane healing output. For a game where you're not supposed to be tanking everything, it's a bullet hell. So I like the heal decay. I don't like the cooldown on the tomes. I think that is going too far. Now, I think, the game designers want to be able to design bosses in any more freeing manner, where they can do chip fights, so they're complex patterns where you have to slowly, make a strategic decision of whether to Nexus or not, which is something that was a constant feature of Old Realm design that was super fun at the time. Whoa. But basically doesn't exist anymore. Basically, it's all insta-kills now because that's the only way to get people to engage with it. So that's sort of... Oh, whoa, he's behind me. God, I wish the little fucking quest... Oh, I'm dead. Whoa. What is going on? And the damage output on my my wand and scepters is pretty high. So, wait, do I have my pet? I have my pet. I don't know why I thought I didn't. Alright, I should be spamming the shit out of the scepter. I don't remember when I put on my pet. Oh, I staggered him. He was about to run over me and kill me. The tome nerf, yeah. I like the heal decay on subsequent targets. I think that's just a really good compromise because the infinite AoE heal for any group size just meant that you were pretty much invincible in a large group with good priests and a marble seal, which is also something that they targeted in this update. So I'm happy that they targeted marble seal too. I would have liked a banner there. That would have been pretty epic. So the marble seal nerf, or let's just go over the effects nerfs in general. The berserk, the damaging, the armored. I think those are good also. I have no issue whatsoever with berserk and damaging being nerfed, especially given that they readjusted the HP on everything at the very same time. So I don't even know what people have an issue with. Is this Splendor? Yeah. I can't get period though, so that's kind of cringe actually. But I'm still ranged and my DPS is pretty pog. So the armored and damaging, I literally do not care at all that they got nerfed. It's fine by me. It makes like 0 difference, except in solo play. Is he gonna kill me on this driveway? No. God, I really wish this quest indicator fucking worked. I would love to know where the boss is. Well, there he goes. Armored being nerfed is fine because, I mean, I hate to say it, but it only really affects a few items, namely Marble Seal, obviously, but also, whoa, that looked like more damage than it was, I guess. Whoa, okay, no, it was that much damage. The server was just lagging. Where is he? He's there, I guess. God, I would kill for this quest system to work properly. I've reported like 50 bugs with this quest system since the beta came out. And, you know, some of them have been fixed. So that's nice, but a lot of them have not. In terms of armored, so it affects basically Marble Seal, and it kind of affects, like, the Daybreak Chakram is another one that kind of hurts, and Prot. Jug really comes out very nicely in this change, actually. Even though some people are saying it's been nerfed by this, I think it's been buffed because it lost the cooldown. So having 100% uptime just makes it so much more flexible. And also the ability to mix and match with other helms at the same time while keeping up armored on yourself. Even if it's only for burst, because you can't rely on magic heals consistently anymore. But a Jug looks really nice after this update, especially with the in-combat, out-of-combat only triggering after a certain threshold. Being able to increase your defense like that, it is more valuable than before. Yeah, I'm screwed. I'm not making it to Exalted. It probably works. Oh, I'm dead. I'm screwed. I'm fucked. Yeah, okay. Well, that worked pretty well. We're getting staggers pretty consistently, towards the beginning of the fight anyway. Alright, what am I going to do now? I'm going to do Warrior. So no cooldown on helms is kind of like, what the fuck? That's so good. See, you can have speedy and armored on Warrior now at the same time. Now, I don't think you can perma keep them both up, probably. Actually, certainly. But still, it's quite strong. Did no one come in the stupid void? It says new HP scaling, though, right, with this update, so I can just totally easily solo this void. Oh, I don't have a pet. Yeah, it's gonna be a petless solo void, guys. Subscribe for more videos. My 75-bit will save me, plus I have however much Fire Dragon gives. I don't remember how much that is. It's probably like 4. I'll check on my next warrior after this one immediately dies. Oh my god, I'm so low. Maybe it's my pet that I'm missing and not priests. Alright, I'm gonna try warrior again, except with a pet. They said all mid 03. It probably died fast enough to catch this group. No. It's another Besa? Are they consistent? I went to mid the previous time and it was Besa. Although there's 4 mini-bosses now. There were only 3 on testing the first time, so... What's this one? Besa. Is it all Besa? Always has been. So basically, with a Divine, as I would normally play, this feels... Oh, someone's given me the gamer boost to my wisdom and mana. How much do I even have in terms of wisdom? 8,000 some. So that is the equivalent of like 20 divine pets. Because divine wisdom is 750 equivalent. God, warrior feels so different when you can up the ability anytime you like. Just having the capacity to just be perma-speedy, perma-buffed, changes it so much. From the stop and start to just go, go, go. It feels nothing like warrior. It just feels like ninja, except better. So I'm just going to be speedy for all eternity. How long does this last? It's more than 10 minutes. Alright, well, I should put out Jug if I'm just gonna screw around then. So you can still get a vibe from my tankiness. You can see I'm sort of wading through bullets, as I normally would in Godlands on a melee. And I'm getting down to like half health and sticking there until I get out of the thick of it. So that's kind of had an effect, obviously, on how it looks, because that is not how it normally goes. Maybe I'll rush an Abyss. You know what? Maybe I'll rush an Abyss. So my whiz buff should be gone. It should be totally just how it's gonna be. I guess I'll go fucking this way. Can I just say, first of all, it is insane that they finally did the balance update and they buffed Warrior. They're like, oh, we'll give Warrior Wizmod, we will give Vit mod to classes, which is inherently buffed to warrior, because warrior has the highest vit in the game. And we will remove the cooldown from the helm so that he can perma and mix and match all the status effects. It is insane how well warrior comes out from this, which is ludicrous. Because, you know, people say Sork came out well from this, and it did. But Sork was shit before. It was a bottom 2 class. Warrior was a top 1 class before that, and to get so much love on this update is insanity. You know, people say it's a warrior nerf because it's a nerf to berserk effectiveness, but that is just straight up false in my view, because the warrior in a group has the same DPS as it had before, except it's scaled to the new group buffs, but it's proportional to every other class. It has the same DPS before. In solo situations, such as I am in now, I guess, warrior doesn't look quite as good due to this. Jeez, I am fucking low. What the fuck? So it doesn't look quite as good solo anymore for pure DPS. But every single other place, it has come out relatively ahead in this update. So in general, though, again, the theory of most of this stuff is something that I'm in favor of. Now, I have a major complaint about this from a balancing standpoint that I'm going to get to in a minute when I play Knight or Archer or something. Some status effect applying class. Because I hate that aspect of the update. I think it's terrible. And it could easily be fixed from a logical standpoint. I know that the enemies in Realm are finite state machines or whatever that Craig yells at you about in the inner workings. So maybe it's not possible to do it my way. But holy crap, I hope it is. Because the current implementation is just so bad. Actually, I'm just gonna, I want to talk about it now, so I'm just gonna kill this warrior. Okay, so we'll play Knight. Let's see what shields I get off the bat. Ogmar, oh, only 1 stunning shield, so I can't make the point I want to make. You'll just have to imagine what I have to say here. So the problem I have with the status cooldown as implemented. So it's an idea that works fine for Mystic. For Stasis, rather. Because Mystic can do stuff other than Stasis. But for other stuff that's supposed to be active in the fight, it's bad. And that's because it totally removes the give and take nature of status effect duration, as it always has been. So, for example, on the ST shield from the Orcs' Battle Attire set, that one has a duration on the stun of 1.5 seconds. So that if once it's stunned, it suddenly gets 5 seconds of stun immunity, that's just worse. Previously, it was fine to use that shield because it in terms of mana per second to keep up a perma-stun, it was about the same as a tier 6 shield. So you could just use that shield. But now it is useless. You cannot use it because you just have less uptime on your stun. So that makes it worthless. It makes it completely worthless. You can't use it anymore because it just has less stun than other shields, proportional to the total time in the fight. It's unusable. And the same is true of anything. But the greater problem, I think, comes from you're put in this situation where this is a status effect that affects the whole group, but you can prevent people from applying it. You can prevent people from applying it by using a short duration one to troll them. So you could use, for instance, the quiver from the April Fool's Archer set, the golden quintessential quiver, that has a paralyze, I think, duration of 1 server tick, 0.2 seconds, the lowest possible amount. So someone could, if they wanted to troll you, just bring one of those and then basically screw you out of ever paralyzing an enemy again. Because they can do that, and then they're paralyzed for 1 server tick, this enemy, and then they come unparalyzed, and then 5 seconds later it happens again. And there's just nothing you can do about it. So this is my fundamental problem with it. It makes this balancing act between the short and long duration versus the MP cost just a complete non-factor. It's the longest duration is always best. Tiered shields are now shit. Now you have to use Scudam. It's the only good shield now, because it just gives the highest percent uptime on stun. Or you have to use Scudam in terms of applying stun, but if you want to just have a shield that you can use generally, you have to go for a pure damage shield. So the new Agent of Oryx shield just does more damage than other shields. And if you're screwed out of applying stun as a knight, the only thing your shield is good for is applying damage. So you just have to use those 2 shields, and Augmer is fine, I guess, but tiered shields are one of the only good tiered abilities in the game, and they're getting screwed by this because there's just an ability with a longer duration that does the same thing. And then this problem extends into other things too. So in an obvious case, the short duration burst ones like the Honey Tomb Snare and the Orb of Ether got somewhat fixed in this update, because they just had their durations increased just so that it fixes it. But the whole purpose of those is negated entirely, because you can't catch them in the trap and keep them there anymore, which is how those items function. The Orb of Ether, Aether, however you pronounce it, just is useless now, because it's supposed to allow things to come into the center and paralyze them there, or just keep them in this area where they're slowed. But it has no area control anymore. It can't keep them there, even though they tried to do the Band-Aid fix of oh, it lasts longer, so it's not total irredeemable garbage that actively detriments the group. It still doesn't do what it's supposed to, because it can't with the new system. So, I mean, this just trashes the balance on different abilities that previously had this vector of balancing that they just don't have anymore. And it just seems so irresponsible to me. Now, what I would do, I mentioned I had a way I wanted it to be done that is not how it's currently done, or not how it's currently implemented. I want it to be based on the time that the effect has been afflicted for. So, whoa, I thought he was vulnerable to stun. Oh god, I literally forgot what I was literally talking about as I said it. I would normally chain stun him there, so I was just on autopilot while I talked about it. It would be nice if there was some indicator that they'd become immune to something. Yeah, they just lost a vector of balancing, and it just seems worthless. So what I want is for it to be based on how long they have had the status applied for before the cooldown comes into effect, rather than as soon as it's afflicted the first time. So Knight is looking kind of good just in terms of stats-wise after this update, but the ability is kind of not looking so hot. As I said, the tiered shields look terrible, but we'll see. I mean, the degree of healing is yet to be determined by this in terms of a metagame, because, I mean, priests have been nerfed to shit, and everyone knows that that is gonna have an effect on HP, because the reason HP is good is because you're so much more likely to heal to full, because you heal so fast in this game. So you're likely to heal to full before you take enough shots for the defense reduction to matter more than just having more HP. But with the slower rate of healing might change that. So, running HP is going to maybe be less relevant in the future. It's hard to say, because people want the healing, so they're probably going to get it regardless. But the short duration on low level electric pets is a consideration too, instead of this status thing, because similar to the quintessential quiver, except less deliberate. Low level electric pets are just going to ruin everything for everyone. They're gonna put the status effect on cooldown without having meaningfully contributed to the fight in the time that it was applied. Having Paralyze be relevant in the end game is just impossible if Quintessential Quiver and Electric Pets can just instantly fuck it up for any raid group. No one is going to be okay with that when it hits prod. No one realizes this. Right now, no one's complaining about it for this reason, except for me, because everyone else is worried about other things that I'm okay with, like the tome nerf and stuff. God, I would love to do something in a bigger group, because this testing is supposed to be nerfing big groups, but I can't just stumble upon a big group, at least not right now. It is like 2:40 in the morning right now, so that may be, to pull the curtain back, a reason why I am not seeing a big group on the US testing server. Okay, so this level of healing in Sanctuary here, on a night, I would expect way more healing generally. So this feels totally balanced, actually, which is shocking. Now, balanced around night and Sanctuary is not totally the baseline here, but this feels reasonable, because I actually have to back off and regen. Damage? Oh, I'm dead. Oh. Alright, I wasn't dead. I shouldn't have strafed through the line of shots. Oh my god, I cannot tell how much these tomes have been nerfed when you're whiz-modding me right now. Also, I wish I had a mushroom tome to compare this to, because mushroom tome probably looks pretty good right about now. Fury on Self is useful, but in general, you would rather have Speedy on Self, or Armored on Self, or Healing on Self even. Right, Fury on Self might be good for bosses, actually, but status spam is probably going to be less common with Fury dead, if we're honest here. Because the reason bosses spam status is because they have to, in order to pressure people, because of Fury. So they don't have to spam it as much once Fury is dead like this. So, and then that, hilariously, will make Fury less needed, because it feeds into itself, this cycle of stupidity. In solo situations, Fury on Self is still good, because if something's chasing you down, and you're not going to have allies to bail you out, you need to be able to Fury off something like Slow, or Confused, or Petrify, or whatever. So, that's why I'm wearing it right now, because I know I kind of suck at Nest, and there's going to be yellow bees chasing me, and there's going to be no group to bail me out. But when there is a group, I think Fury on Self sucks. Another thing about in combat, out of combat, that I said this last year during the session too, but damaging liquids triggering in combat, just in terms of the naming convention, is nonsense. You're not fighting the liquid. There's no combat taking place. So to say you're in combat when you take damage from a damaging liquid is stupid. So I don't know, I wish they would have used a different term from in combat, because I don't necessarily think that mechanically it's a bad idea for damaging liquids to put you in the lowered healing state, because lava walking is obviously kind of nonsense. Fighting a liquid just is stupid. I can't. I'm on cooldown. Okay, so the increased duration on Speedy on the Geb book is nice, because Speedy on the tiered tomes has always been stupid, and it's just a random addition by Kabam because they have no idea what they're doing in terms of balancing. So happy to see it gone, but I'm happy to see that Priest has a viable source of Speedy now, because you needed insane magic heal to perma Speedy on Priest before. With T6, I don't even know if it was possible to perma Speedy with Geb Tome, even with like 100 magic heal. You might be able to do it with a wisdom investment. But anyway, that's stupid. Holy crap, I wish the server wasn't so bad. Just seeing everything flying all over the place all the time is making me think I'm about to die instead of actually test the shit. Oh my god, can I play the game, please? My internet is good, I swear to god. I'll do a speed test after I finish this test session here, and just put the results on screen over the stuff here, just to prove to my listeners that this is a server-side issue. What if I just try rushing? I have no idea how well this is going to go. I've never tried... Oh shit, that's not the right way. That's not the right way. What the fuck, really? Necromancer. It got buffed. It got more vitality, I think. Yeah, it got from 30 to 40. But it also has spammable heals. You can see that it heals 110 to all allies with no decay and no cooldown for similar mana costs. So Necromancer is essentially better Priest at this point, because you can also, for instance, with Espen Skull, slow enemies. You can do offensive support material like that, which Priest just can't do. And you can purify your allies, which is just something Priest can't do anymore, which is shocking. Why is this one not spawned? Oh well, wait, is it spawned? It is spawned, it's just not rendering. But there is a portal here. That's interesting. I'm gonna go into the invisible cult. But yeah, Necromancer looking nice, just because Priest is looking so bad. Because it does a decent job replacing it in those roles. Now, obviously, the group Fury is not something you're ever gonna hit. Because you need to hit 4 targets. So what bosses that you need a Fury for is that going to be true of? Well, actually, I wonder if the Marble Colossus rocks count, because they're not damageable, but they are, and I think they're hittable? I'm not sure. If they are, then when they circle around MBC, that could be nice. And swarms of Void minions, obviously, you could get a Fury off using that. So I'm gonna, after this cult, win or lose, I'm gonna log off for the night. So here's some closing thoughts on the first little bit of gameplay with in combat, out of combat. It feels not that different in general. It doesn't feel like it's ridiculously nerfed me. It just feels like I need to stop and think sometimes where I wouldn't before. I need to back out, take a breath, or start dodging better than I would be forced to before. Now, I haven't done group-oriented content yet, so I don't know how hard this Priest nerf is going to hit. Probably very hard. In general, the Priest nerf is needed, but to do it all at once is dramatic. To lower heals and remove group Fury at the same time, it's a big move. This guy always dies instantly in raids. I don't know what his phases are. Oh god, I'm paralyzed. Why is my fame bar filling if I already have the 2k milestone on this character? Is that a visual glitch, or is it something to do with the exaltation? I just wish these HP bars, the boss HP bars, spawned in a fixed position on the screen, so that you could take inventory of who's invulnerable and who's not. Oh, okay. You could just take US East 4 offline during a testing session, because we don't need 4 US Easts anyway. So if you've got that extra server just lying around, you can just apply that to the testing server, so that we can get a testing that works. That would be nice. I mean, 3 a.m. cannot possibly be peak hours. There's no way the server should be under so much stress that it should be so much worse than the prod servers. Okay, I wish this fucking quest would change to Malice so it actually pointed at something that's useful. I have so many complaints about the quests on Exalt, you have no idea. Oh, the HP bar popping in and out again, lovely. And quest marker pointing someplace totally irrelevant, that's cool. Took one hit to get the self-puri. That would be all it would take to make this spell feel good. Oh, I'm dead. Okay. Alright, I should have HP potted. I could have gotten enough bind cover. That's my bad. Whatever. I'm gonna try and come back for more tomorrow, but if I don't, it's just because I have a ton of schoolwork to do, and I didn't get it done in time to make it back for the rest of the testing session, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully I have more to say. But if not, thank you for watching. Thank you for your consideration of my point of view. Thank you for listening to feedback. Hopefully, Deka. Goodbye.